Hello, this is Freedom Through Christ, and this is gonna be a video reply, more like a video response. I guess my first one that I ever made. I normally don't do video responses, but this is gonna be something new. This is a response to a video posted by K7 Jury. Well, actually, I posted a comment the other day on his video, one of his videos, and I got a reply. It's asking me a question. And that was for those of you who are watching this. And this video is aimed at the K7 Jury. Here is my comment on one of his videos. The video is Atheists, How Not to Make Their Heads Explode. And here's what I said. I said, when you want evidence before you believe in God, then when you want evidence before you believe in God, then it's I left out, you won't find any. I left out a word. My life changed so much after I became a Christian. When I worship God, I feel His presence. I have seen prayers answered. You won't find God with science. You will only find God with faith. Faith leads to evidence. That's the part that specific question. I'll get to that later. Try and see for yourself. Everyone who is a Christian has tried God and seen changes in their lives. He responded to me, faith leads to evidence. He's quoting what I said. Like, I don't know, I think it's more like faith leads to evidence. It really doesn't work like that. Evidence is there before you accept the conclusion. Why would you believe something with no evidence? Evidence is what is supposed to convince you. To believe something without evidence sounds gullible. Okay. Let's see. Gullible. There's something that kind of sounds strange to me, is that that for the last 2,000 years that people have been that gullible and nobody even noticed it. And what I have noticed is when it comes to God, you do have a reason to believe in God. But as an atheist, you're not going to recognize these reasons to believe in God, these evidence. Because if God is real, then so is the devil. And the devil blinds you from these evidence of God that's all around you, which you don't see. So you're looking in the wrong places. You're not going to see God with science, as I said in my comment. You will only see God if you try it for yourself. And if you have tried God before and didn't experience nothing, then chances are you gave up. You gave up too soon. I mentioned in a video I made last year, a 2-part video. I did a 2-part video called "What Are You Praying For?" And in that video, I did. In part 1, I talked about reasons your prayers would be answered, and in part 2, I talked about why your prayers would be denied. And I clearly covered any reasons in both those videos, especially part 2, why your prayers would not be answered. I have experienced evidence of God. So it's really, you believe in God with faith, and then it gets confirmed. You gotta experience it for yourself. I mean, I can't explain it to you. I mean, I could tell you I could tell you about it. But if you're not willing to believe the possibility that there is a God, you might just explain it away. Like I said, this has been going on for over 2,000 years. For Christians, and I should have mentioned that scripture in Romans, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word, or something like that. And basically, we hear about God through testimonies. That is, millions of Christians who give testimony, which I haven't heard all of them, but people give testimonies about what God has done for them. It builds faith. And when you hear testimonies like that, it gives you a reason to believe it. It makes there's too many people. It's too many people to be a coincidence. Too strange to be a coincidence. There was no way that a strange series of coincidences can go on for 2,000 years and nobody notice anything. Some things, it just cannot be the placebo effect. And in order for it to be the placebo effect, you have to have a subconsciously know what's going on. What's going to happen when this happens. A lot of my experiences with God, I had no idea what's going to happen until I experienced it myself. Nobody told me what's going to happen. The presence of God. You will feel the presence of God as you're worshiping. But you also have to be willing to accept that maybe there is a God. And maybe science won't find him. That there's something else will. Okay. I have to see how much time I have left. And maybe it's more like science won't find him if you're not really. Maybe science could find him if you look closely enough, and to what can't be explained completely, which otherwise, what I mean by science won't find is that science won't definitely prove God. But it does bring up a possibility that maybe there is, which could also be explained away by something else. That there was I did see a video on YouTube, a video that's been on YouTube for 3 years now. They did a study. Now these doctors, they decided to do an experiment on people who are praying in tongues. Let's see how much time I have left. Which is a Christian practice. And what they have found is the people who are praying in tongues, and they asked those people to pray in English first, and then they pray in tongues, and they notice that there's a change in brainwave patterns. More specifically in the parts of the brain that controls speech. And these people doing the experiment say that they have not seen change that much in any other religion that they've done that they experimented on. I mean, not experiment. Tried that on. This study of brainwave activity. Yeah, so there is a change of brainwave activity when people pray in tongues. Which to me, as a Christian, that confirms my faith. Well, what I believe. That's evidence for me. What I meant. Whereas you might not see that as evidence. Because it's something that you have not experienced for yourself. So we do have a cause for what we believe. Let's see how much time I have left. We have witnesses, testimonies. The people saying what God has done for them. This makes to see how much time I have left. But actually, it's not really about evidence. It's not about proving God, disproving God. It's about salvation. My name, my username, Freedom Through Christ. That's my testimony. That's the first thing I experienced when I became saved. See what's on that. It's a testimony. It's the truth. It's what I experienced. And I think it's pointless to have a war of trying to prove or disprove God, because nobody's getting anywhere. Like the guy who made the video how to make an atheist head explode. That ain't getting he ain't getting nowhere with that video. He didn't prove nothing to no atheist. And actually, I think that video was kind of making a mockery of you atheists. And I believe that in doing so, he's showing this guy is showing a poor representation of Christ. Hold on a minute. I guess I better go. I don't have very much time left. Some of my video gets cut off after I upload it for some reason. I guess I better let it go for 1 minute before I turn it off.